What if we could transform how we live? So that the way we live regenerates life. To do that, we need to take steps that are so tiny as to be irresistibly easy. Continuous, incremental, iterative improvements compound into great change. I'm experimenting with what everyday regenerative action could look like throughout the seasons.
I'm Elisa Rathje at Apple Turnover. And this is the Journal of Small Work.
When we first start off down a path of living simply, more directly, in ways that regenerate life, it can feel like there's more to learn than we could in a lifetime. We need the deep encouragement that comes with even the smallest fluency as we begin to re-skill. We like the idea of learning a pattern language. Once we're fluent in a pattern, we see it everywhere. Here's a basic recipe that illustrates this idea. Starting with the rudimentary pattern, in this case, the form of oil plus wax, we can find solutions to specific needs: a healing salve, a soothing balm, a protective polish, a water-resistant material.
So if we get the basic principle, the basic recipe, wax, some kind of oil,
Then we grate the wax,
we melt it in the oil, and then from there, it's just theme and variation.
we could change up the oil according to our needs. Perhaps almond or coconut for skin, jojoba for hair, walnut oil for waxing wood, castor oil for scar healing or liver cleansing balms. Or we could infuse the oils. We could use dried herbs like mullein for the ears, arnica for pain relief, calendula for burns, comfrey for deep tissue healing, or we could add essential oils.
Once we have the core principle, we can translate that quite effortlessly into different contexts.
Increase the ratio of wax to oil, and we've got spoon butter, cutting board conditioner, furniture wax. We can apply the wax to fabric and get a measure of water resistance, like the old fisher folk. I can make a rain cape, a shower curtain, a wax tablecloth, bicycle panniers, beeswax wraps to cover our food, to carry it around, plastic free. When we learn to work with patterns,
that's where there's a speeding up of our reskilling. That's where we begin shifting to resilience much faster, because we don't need nearly as much knowledge and experience as one might think. We just need some good principles. It's just as simple as wax melting in oil.
nice and waxy, and dried out, all polished up. I use this one all the time. It's for my secateurs, right? It's your favorite thing to grab and run away with. Better? When we take responsibility for this, we shift toward needing less, shopping less, wasting less, requiring less from the monetary economy as the home economy steps in, at the same time as we're experiencing the compounding, ecologically healing effects of replacing our ingredients with healing substances. Deep ecology, soil science, and quantum physics alike remind us that we are profoundly interconnected. But the overarching story of dominant culture is that of separation and hierarchy. We have to be very intentional to follow principles of interconnection. When we're guided by our own permeable nature, we make different decisions. Here, this constant exchange is made vivid by living within a food forest that is cycling grey water and compost and biochar from the farmhouse, the chicken run, the barn, growing fertile gardens and pastures and orchards that feed the foraging laying hens, the browsing milk goats, the wild birds, the microbiota, and the people, filtering water through mulch beds and deep soil to the orchard and the ponds and the thicket and the creek and the lake beyond. Whatever we use will end up everywhere else. Once we have the root pattern for a particular skill, we can elaborate on the theme. We can add to this pattern with a fundamental principle of profound interconnection. We are not separate. We are in perpetual exchange. We are permeable. We are always breathing life, eating life, absorbing, shedding, in biological cycles right down to the molecular. Whatever we use is absorbed into all living systems. The ingredients of our lives matter because we are all connected. See, it doesn't matter if you chew on it. It's fine. Well, it does matter if you chew on it. Really, no need to chew on it. What are you messing with? What are you messing with? Where's my other goat? Goat, goat. There you are. Hey, Pippin.